Here's our example to follow. Reflect on defeated enemies. Has God ever done anything great in your life? Have you ever had any victory over any type of sin? Have you had any victory over Satan and his temptations? Have you been tempted to do something and through the Lord's power you were able to say no? Have you ever said no to this world system? There's something people in the world approach you and say, why don't you do this? And you said no. Those are defeated enemies, and we should reflect on the great victories that we've had in our past. And of course, give glory to God for any of the victories that we have. In chapter 12, Joshua, or the writer of Joshua, I think Joshua probably composed most of this. We don't really have a detailed version about who exactly put together the book of Joshua. I don't think there's any real reason for us to not to assume that he made a record of all of these things. But we see that we stop at verse 12. We've seen all kinds of great conquering, and for some reason in chapter 12, we say, "Hey, let's stop and let's reflect on all of our victories. Let's reflect on all the defeated enemies." So chapter 1 or verse 1 of chapter 12 says, "Now these are the kings of the land whom the people of Israel defeated and took possession." So now there's going to be this huge list of kings. We're going to talk about those that were beyond the Jordan toward the sunrise on the east side of the Jordan. We know that king was Sihon and Og, and they're going to reflect how the Israelites, through the leadership of Moses, overcame these two great kings on the east side of the Jordan. But we're not going to stop there. We're going to reflect on everything that Joshua did. The Lord rose, or he raised Joshua up to replace Moses and to take the Israelites into the west side of the Jordan, across the Jordan River. And Joshua led them to conquer many, many kings. So these are the kings of whom Joshua defeated on the west side of the Jordan. And then what we see, we got a description of the land here. And in verse 9, we begin this description of all the kings. The king of Jericho, 1. The king of Ai, which is beside Bethel, 1. Remember, we mentioned that Ai was probably an outpost of Bethel, if you remember that when we were talking about the battles of Ai. The king of Jerusalem, 1. The king of Hebron, 1. On and on and on. We see a record of all of the enemies in the cities that the Lord empowered Israel to conquer and defeat. So Joshua takes a break in his great record and for some reason wants to give us a nice succinct list of all of the victories of the Lord. They are reflecting on how God was faithful to them. It is good for us to take time and reflect. So reflect today. What great victories has God given you over your own sin, over the worldly systems in this world, and over Satan himself, and give God glory. Give him thanks for seeing you through those terrible temptations and those terrible trials, understanding that God is going to be with you to get you through future ones as well. I want to end by reading Revelation 21. Revelation chapter 21, verse 4. Here's the hope that all of our enemies will one day be defeated. The princes, and the principalities and powers in the heavenly places, these things will be destroyed. We're told in Revelation 21, verse 4, that he, that is Christ, will wipe away every tear from their eyes, and death shall be no more. So the great enemy of death will be destroyed. Neither shall there be mourning, nor crying, nor pain anymore, for the former things have passed away. Yes, we're battling right now, but one day these battles will be former things, and they will all pass away when God himself reigns through Jesus Christ. I pray that's been a blessing to you, and I'll see you in the next video.